stored at your house.
I will call the regular meeting of the Irmo Town Council to order, and I will recognize Councilman Hoots to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening asking your blessing and guidance on the decisions that this council will make for the benefit of the citizens of Irmo. Lord, we ask a special blessing for those men and women that are in foreign lands fighting to protect our right to assemble as we have here this evening. Guide them, protect them, and bring them home. We ask all of these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Next item on the agenda is the reading of the minutes. Is there a motion to?
We have a public hearing.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
I was thinking that was next meeting. Okay. Well, then I will call the public hearing to order, and that would be on our fiscal budget for year 13-14. Is there anyone who would like to address the council on the budget? And seeing none, then I will close the public hearing. And since we've already done the call to order, pledge of allegiance, and invocation, then I will do the next item would be the reading of the minutes. Is there a motion for approval of the minutes as written for May 21st, 2013?
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the minutes as approving the minutes as written, do so with show of hand. Next item is the administrative briefing. And Mr. Brown, is there anything you want to add to it?
Just a reminder about the Municipal Association's annual meeting. Mrs. Stanley needs your applications tonight. If you have not given it to her to attend, that is July 17th to 21st in Greenville. And that's all I have.
Any questions of Mr. Brown on anything on the administrative briefing? Seeing none. Next item is receipt of communications. Any communications anyone would like to share?
Can we go back one to the administrative briefing? Under new business D about the sanitation one, have we heard any backlash, or have you heard any that thinks it's not a good idea? Or I hadn't heard a thing. That's why I'm asking.
No, I mean, we have it on the agenda tonight to get council approval for that, but I haven't heard anything bad or good. George Glassmeyer called me up and he said he thought it was a good idea.
Wow, let me write that down.
Can we quote you quoting him?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Well, because it takes away from the clutter. Right now, you can drive through Irmo, and any day of the week, you'll see garbage around in one portion of town or the other.
Right.
And by them coming through here and doing a big swoop one day a week, then everybody puts their stuff out on Wednesday, and all of it disappears on Wednesday.
And we don't have
How can you get
trucks.
the whole town on one day, though? I thought the whole idea was that they needed multiple days.
Yeah, but he's doing each one of his towns. He's going to try to get in one day. He's got 9 trucks, but right now, because of the way he spreads them out, he's got 2 here, 2 there, 2 all over the place. And by doing it once a day, one day a week, he's going to bring them all in.
So they have 9 trucks running around town, I suppose.
So there'll be less noise early in the morning and
It's just the one day.
all.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, I just wondered. Thank you, sir.
And any receipt of communications? None. Next item is presentation by citizens. This will be the place on the agenda where anyone who would like to address town council on anything that's on the agenda may do so at this time. All we ask is you give us your name and address for the record, and also the agenda item that you'd like to address. Anyone who would like to address? Seeing none.
We had a deferment on the last agenda. that wasn't taken up on the new agenda. Is that the reason for that?
It's going to happen in July.
July?
Yeah.
We're going to do it on the July agenda?
Yeah,
Yes.
I already asked.
Yes.
Okay.
It's already going to be on there because it'll be on the new budget that way. And we can make the
Okay.
amendment.
And next item is unfinished business. Second reading of our ordinance 1306 for the operating budget for next year, our fiscal year 13-14. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? And I guess one thing, is there, I know we had two of these in here, is one of these the one that we're,
I was going to make an amendment, ask for an amendment to the budget,
Okay.
an adjustment to the budget, and, you know, I know we're going to be adjusting the budget along as more revenue comes in, and there's no way to depict exactly how much revenue is going to be in by the close of business on June 30,
Correct.
before opening of business on July 1 for the next fiscal year. But I was going to make a motion that we amend the budget, the bottom line to, Mr. Mayor, do you have the budget there? The bottom line of $4,694,102.
That's the revenue, right?
That is the total operating expenditures of
And the
all
revenue.
funds.
And the revenue. Okay, got it.
so this other budget, just one we did first reading on.
That's correct. And the bottom line figure was that one down there.
4684.
Yeah. So I would make that in the form of an amendment to the budget. We'd have to vote on the amendment first.
So there's a motion to amend it from the $4,684,347 to $4,694,102. Is there a second?
We need a second on that, yeah.
Second.
Okay.
Any discussion on the amendment?
So why are we doing that again?
Some adjustments in the administrative department and the court department. And this is, just for history, we've tried not to adjust the budget after second reading because either up or down, because the third reading, it just looks bad. You know, if you're making a change and then voting on it final that night. So this is kind of one of our last opportunities to make an adjustment midstream to get it a little closer to reality.
Who seconded the amendment? Thank you.
Paul did.
And this was due to some salary increases for,
Various people.
yeah, Judge Jacobs. So any more discussion on the amendment? Amended.
This is July, isn't it?
Any more?
I'm sorry, excuse
Okay.
us.
I'm trying to understand.
That'll be in July. This is June. That's another whole subject. Don't worry.
What do you mean June? This is June. I thought this was July. Okay.
We'll take care of it.
All right.
So all in favor for the amended budget of $4,694,102, do so of show of hand. And now, we will vote on that. Any discussion about the budget whatsoever? The only thing I want to comment on is, and we voted, or some of us did, but we voted as a council to take some items, some cost out of the orchestra budget and put it in the town budget. I just don't think it was a good thing to do. That orchestra budget is an enterprise fund, and that enterprise fund, everything associated with that should be under that fund for us to have a true analysis of that. Taking cost out of that and putting it in the town, I think is just not good budgeting. And because of that, I will be voting against the budget just because of that reason there. I think we need to leave the Oak Strut stuff in the Oak Strut and town stuff in the town. But saying that, that's all I wanted to say about that. Any other discussion on the regular budget?
Another thing I would say is just as a reminder that this budget is 0 mills.
Correct. And it's a very good budget too. I mean, it really is. It's a mean and lean and trim budget. And I will say too, I think if you look at last year's budget, as far as the dollar amounts per department, a lot of them came in under budget, which commend the staff for doing that. I think the town...
How much did we spend last year? About 4.6, wasn't it? It was about 4.6, wasn't it? Last year's budget.
Yeah.
So we haven't had a really increase in our budget, so to speak.
And it's actually, I think a lot of the departments, I'd have to look back on that thing and see, but a lot of
About
them are
$100,000 increase, if I'm not
less.
mistaken.
Yeah, it was
Some cars.
Any more?
Okay, so let me get this straight. Let me make sure I understand. In my mind, you feel like the items that we had voted on to say we're going to move it into the town side of the ledger for accounting purposes is what's going to cause you not to vote for this budget?
Yeah, because I think they should be in the enterprise fund, which is the Oak Strut budget, and not in the town's budget.
I mean, it doesn't matter because we don't have a millage rate anyway, so it's not costing anybody any money anyhow,
Well,
except for the town's money
It's
that...
costing the town taxpayer now who's paying for those costs out of the general fund.
What taxes are we paying out of the general fund? What
We're paying
taxes are
cost
we
out
paying?
of general fund. We're paying Oak Strut cost out of the general fund.
Yeah, but I'm saying what
paying
taxes,
out of-
what citizen is paying taxes? I just want to understand your logic behind it, that's all. What citizens are paying taxes towards?
Any citizen that shops in the town of Irmo and buys anything pays
Okay.
a 1 penny sales tax.
Correct, so, but there's no direct millage rate going to any household that I know of in the town of Irmo, right?
Or business.
Or business, right? So there's no...
Well, business is paid. I
tax.
pay a business license.
That's not a tax, that's a business
And
license.
I call it a tax when it comes off my money.
I can take you downtown Columbia and show you what a tax is, okay?
Well,
That's
you can call it a tax.
90
call it a
mils.
tax. It's a
And they have a
license.
business license,
It's a
too.
fee and it's a tax.
They have a business license too. But my point is this, it's just simply that we have an increase of about $100,000 over the last year's budget. Even when moving those things around from the Oak Strut fund into the general, if you will, general side of the equation. And we still have a 0 millage rate. That's what I'm understanding, right? Nobody in this room is paying a dime more in taxes than they did last year.
And it is
balanced.
audited.
Even though the chief gets three, 4 brand new Crown Vic, well, not Crown Vics anymore. What is it now? Impalas?
2 Impalas in the
Impalas, okay.
budget. All 2 increases in the budget, sorry.
And we gets a new Gator every so often, you know. I think it's a great show of what we can do as a town.
There's a lot of towns wish they were in our...
And I got one downtown, about 10 miles from here. I wish they would take heed or take lessons from us on how to do this other stuff so that I don't have to pay so much taxes to run my little business. But hey, if that's your reason for drawing against it, that's fine. I think it's a great budget and I'll be voting for it.
I think it's a good budget. I just think it could be better, and I think those accounting charges should be under that enterprise fund. That's what the enterprise
Are you talking
fund is
about
for.
paying the security people overtime?
All the overtime that we took out of there
Okay.
and put it in the
Okay,
town
I
budget. I think
understand
that's
what, okay.
basically what some people would call voodoo economics and all that good stuff, but I just don't think it's good accounting practices. That'd be like me taking my business and taking money out of there and saying, well, if I get somebody else to pay these bills for me, then I'll look like I made money. It's not, you know.
But it might help your business.
It might help my business go borrow some money or whatever, but it's still, you know, but yeah. So any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of second reading of the budget in the amount of $4,694,102. Do so with show of hands. All opposed? And next item is new businesses, appointment to the Irmo Planning Commission. And I think we had one individual whose term had expired, Mr. Brooks Galloway.
Mr. Galloway.
He signed up and said he wants to serve.
He would like to be reappointed if he could.
And we advertised it, and no one in the town.
Correct. We have one reply, and the gentleman didn't live in town.
Okay.
I would make a motion to reappoint Brooks.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Brooks. He hired him, so I have great debt to him.
The nepotism? The nepotism?
No.
See,
No,
hi,
everybody- He did. Everybody's retired now.
So all in favor of reappointing Mr. Brooks Galloway, do so with show of hands.
That was 30 years ago.
Next item is the appointment to the Irmo Chamber of Commerce Board. And I think Mr. Brown, I think you can kind of fill us in on that. Councilman Walker, Mayor Pro Tem Walker's term expires
End of
this
June.
month? End of June.
Yes.
And is there anyone who wants to serve? I know Bob can serve, and I think, but the first thing I would ask is any council members.
The
I
first
make a
thing
motion, we draft Bob, ask Bob.
ask Bob, well, does Bob have time? Bob, can you handle everything we've given to you?
Yeah, I've talked to Kevin.
With 3 dirt balls and a wife, but you know. Okay,
But no council members want to serve?
not this.
Is there a reason? I mean, if
Well-
we're not going to serve, then we maybe just don't need to appoint anybody and don't have anybody in there.
No, I think we need to have representation
Yeah, we need
on
to have
there.
representation.
My job doesn't allow me to just break away during the middle of the day, like
I
it used
know, they
to.
got meetings every time.
And it's whether we run or not. I mean, we shouldn't put our name in the hat.
Well, I could
Because it's
agree if
whether
they're
we
not
run.
going
And
to all that, but yeah.
Yeah.
so if Bob's willing to do it, I think every administrator needs time on that board.
Well, and I don't want to, but I do know there were some conflicts in the past with their other administrator too with some stuff. I just don't know if it's a comfortable thing. That's why I felt like
If he gets
council should.
uncomfortable.
We have the
should serve.
chairman here. Did you want to say anything?
Do it.
The only difference between this position and the one that John had is this is a non-voting.
So you will be snooping instead of voting, okay?
But you're going to take care of him, right? David?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
If Davita says it's okay, it's all right.
So did we hear,
I make a motion that we appoint
I second.
the town administrator to serve on that position. And I've talked with him, it's not a railroad job.
No.
It is
It's just a railroad
important.
town.
You know, you do learn a lot, or I did.
Yes.
I thought it was very good.
so all in favor?
Was there a second?
Yeah, I second it.
We all seconded it. We all did.
We all second it.
I think I had Kathy down. I don't know. So all in favor, do so with show of hands. Next item is the approval of a bond for Rose Oak subdivision, Phase 3, in the amount of $157,218.75. And Mr. Brown, I'll ask you to kind of go over this thing here with this as far as the bond.
Well, I had talked to Mr. Moore, he's here, earlier today, and the only issue is we probably need to go this route until we can get an independent verification that the work has been done, because 10 days ago, they provided us with a letter saying that they had $125,000 worth of infrastructure left to do for Phase 3. And then this morning, I got another one, a revised copy, that said they had $31,000 worth of infrastructure to do, which is saying that in the last 9 days, they've done $95,000 worth of work. I'm not saying whether they have or they haven't, they probably have, but I mean, we need some sort of verification before we put our name on the line saying that we accept that there's only $30,000 left to do to accept their bond.
So somebody drive out there and take a look?
We need an engineer to do that. I drove out there at lunchtime today. Yeah, there's a lot of new asphalt down. They paved the road. But I don't know about the storm drains, the catch basins, if the curbs are all done to standards and things. I don't know that.
I haven't been out there in a while. How many houses have they built out there?
A whole bunch.
A whole bunch. Right.
So you say we got a bond, what now? We got a plat?
We've got the bonded plat.
Bonded
right.
plat.
Well, that won't change. That's just what they want. But we can't sign the plat until we know that we've got a bond in hand that will cover the infrastructure if they were to leave town, go out of business, something
Sure, they're not
happens.
gonna leave town and go out there. That's building 38 houses.
I doubt that too. But that's
You
the
wanna
reason.
get Dennis Engineering out there to say, give them a blessing on it or what?
They're willing to get an independent engineer just to give us a report saying, yes, it's been done, and to verify that how much money is required to complete the infrastructure. I mean, that's where we're at. I mean, if an engineer says there's only $32,000 left, and I mean, that's how much money we'd want to hold until they were done.
Y'all cool with that? You guys cool with that?
Yes, sir, because we already have those independent reports, and so we'll be able to get you what you need.
Okay.
So we can get a new,
But council needs to make a decision tonight based on,
A release to let them move forward.
yes.
All right, let me ask you this. I know Mr. Moore has, and I'm not pointing at the attorney, Mr. Moore has put up cash in the past, and when he has completed the necessary work, you've come to us and we have, without delay, refunded that cash back to you. If this is what we have an independent engineer to study on, and you bring us another one, we would just cut a check right back immediately without delay for that difference. If indeed you have it in hand and can bring it to town hall, I don't know, can we elect to delay this part until we get that, and then you release the permit to continue, or exactly how is that done?
well,
I'm sorry.
we could approve the 125
Correct.
and then refund.
Actually, the 125 goes to 157.
Yeah, 158.
Yeah, didn't want to misspeak.
And then refund, or we could just defer this until they bring us in another one for,
But he doesn't want to wait 2 weeks
okay.
for us to do it.
He's telling me
That's
he
right.
can get an independent report back before the next council meeting, in which case we could give him a refund, sign the bonded plat, and they could start
It
working.
doesn't have to come back to us to do the refund.
Correct.
Yeah, instead of going through all that extra paperwork and doing a refund, we can go ahead and get you the engineer's report on the road and the amount that's not finished to complete that. It'd be one step instead of two.
You're saying do one for 30, whatever it was.
39,000.
But then we won't get that tonight, so we can vote on it tonight.
Well, we got the checking amount if you want, and we got our engineer certified, that's all it's supposed to be done. So we paved the road, we did $95 work on the last 90 days, we'll get you another one.
And so, like the last time, what we really need is for y'all to sign off on that, not to vote.
Well, I don't want to sign off on 158 bond with only 31,000 cash. So we either need the 158 or we need the letter from the engineer, whatever that is, for the
You had a
35.
letter from our engineer saying 130, 125. Well,
Right.
He's gone back up there and checked it and seen the additional work, and now he's saying it's 31, so that's what you got.
What we did is we subtracted the amount of the asphalt, the cost of the asphalt for the whole phase 3 from the original bond estimate. The day that we all needed the paperwork turned in so that y'all could get it distributed to everyone, that's the day we were putting down the asphalt, and it was going to be a 2-day process. So I asked the town of Irmo, I said, can we get one in? I didn't want to wait for 2 days and miss the window to get on this agenda for this month. So I said, can we just give you what, as of today, is not completed, and then when we get the bulk of that road completed, amend it and bring you a new bond estimate, and that's what we did.
Maybe, but I know, like Hardy's saying, I mean, we need to accept this one, and we can hold it to get verification and just get another one. I mean, that's fine. I gotta have something.
And until we get you everything that you need, the new report and, the bond estimate and all that, you don't have to sign the bonded plat. That's the insurance that you have.
We'll have that for you. I want to make sure we got this clear before we leave here. That, all this left to be done is about $31,000 worth of stuff. We spoke to Dick more about it before the meeting started. And our engineer who's certified, he will lose his certification if he's lying about that or whatever. And we've already got the bonded check. I just want to make sure that tomorrow morning, John will bring in another engineer saying that's correct. And then we'll get the bond signed on March. We got some closings we're trying to close Friday, and we need to find the glass.
We did this exact same way 6 months ago on phase 2. We put up a cash bond with y'all. We finalized everything, and y'all returned the money back. We did that with phase 1 also.
Right.
So going forward.
But it was the actual,
In your opinion, is this?
they gave it the actual good amount.
Still be
Phase
consistent
two,
with
not
what y'all
this kind of
want need done. What do you do this meantime?
Well, and I'll ask this.
From your engineer, $39,000, right?
Yes, sir. This is his original before we put the asphalt in.
All right.
And it says the asphalt total will be $85,280.
And the asphalt's there.
Now it's
I
been
drove over
completed.
lunchtime. I mean,
We just took that out. We still left
I'm not
out
an
engineer to say that
repairs
it's not just
to the asphalt issues of damage.
How much?
Correct.
Right. We gotta protect ourselves, and the only way to do it.
That amount, and then we get 125% of that.
How long will it be before you would have that second engineer's
I
letter?
got a copy I can read you right now. Apparently for the contractor who does the work needs a laboratory engineer like GS2 to take the test.
Right.
Test the
Make sure you
underlayment.
didn't put a half inch down.
Yeah, well, they test the underlayment, the base, then they test the binder course, and he's got all this in the report. The thickness, the density test, the testings.
If we got the verification that the amount of work left to do is $31,762, and you have the verification verified, right, get two engineers.
Tonight, I mean, if you had a letter.
Well, the
that
amount
goes
to do that was
right
done by our engineer based on the
now, you
contract.
guys should be put on
And
the
that's the amount
spot
that we
approving
put down. And basically,
30 until we know that
it's
it's
been done to
30.
the specifications of original county.
I mean, I
That's
trust
what
them, but I mean, I
took
need
it out.
The new one says $31,762, and the town already has in its possession a verification from somebody that the work for the $85,000 has actually been done to
I've got it right over here, I just got it this afternoon, there you go. All right.
Would you show it to the town administrator and see if he is comfortable with it?
And this is on the final code, base code, asphalt. It gives you the thicknesses, and it's got all the tests that they did.
make sure Bob sees it. Bob's the one who's got to pass on it, but as long as Bob is satisfied.
Two more copies of,
Ran off and brought with me.
that it's from somebody.
As long as Bob is satisfied that the verification shows there's $31,000 worth of work done, then we all can be able
Well,
to.
they
It's
didn't
right
know.
here.
This is the engineer.
I'm
These are all
figuring about
reports that said they put the asphalt down properly, they were fine.
But that
Packed
$85,000 has
asphalt.
been done according to George Simbas at GS2.
Do you want to take it back and read it? Or you want to give me time?
You've got $31,000 worth of work left out there, right?
We have a check for $125,000.
Not really, this is just insurance. This is just
I've got
insurance.
nothing but dollar figure on it.
We've already done all the work, this is just something they hold back as retainage.
The most that you have to do out there is $31,000.
Yes, sir.
And you got a check for $120,000.
so it's a copy of the same package.
The asphalt thickness.
Well, I would know
Like I said, I drove
100% what I'm looking at anyhow.
Well, the first page is understandable, the engineering study.
There's a lot more, that's involved here. Besides this.
And I guess one question I'm going to ask is why y'all didn't get this done in time earlier for us?
Because when I turned in the package to the town of Irmo, they told me the date that they had to have everything, and I had everything in by
So-
that date, except we were paving.
But couldn't you just bring us a check for $158 and then we deposit it and then we refund the difference?
No, we don't have that money lying
No,
around.
we don't have that cash lying around.
So we got to trust that y'all have done the work without knowing that it's been done.
No,
Basically.
it's been certified by Moore Engineering Group and certified by GS2 Engineering. Now we will continue before we get a final plat, bringing in all the final documentations for the permitting and the testing.
See, and all this says is that you've got your asphalt down, and like I told the mayor, I drove there at lunchtime, so I know the asphalt's there, but the asphalt is $85,000, and you've got $94,000 difference, so where's the other $9,000?
Well, some grassing and other little things that we've done in the past 2 weeks.
See, that's the kind of verification stuff that we need. I mean, you need to show us where the other, $9,000, yeah.
Well, you need an invoice from the guy who did the grassing?
Well, I think actually what we need is something from the engineer saying X amount of work has been done.
Well, that's what I don't understand. This is our engineer, we pay him, but he doesn't do what we tell him to do.
Well, that's
and he's the one that...
up to you and not us, but all we need is something that Bob can sign off on, knowing that, before we sign off on it.
That you did $95,000 worth of work in the last week.
Right, well, that's what he's saying. This is what y'all had for 2 weeks. And
Well, why don't you approve the bond in the amount of 125% of $31,762.50. You let me finish. I will. Okay. Approve the bond in the amount of 125% of $31,760.50, subject to Mr. Brown receiving satisfactory documentation either this evening or in the morning to his satisfaction that the amount of work that appears to be left undone according to the engineers is in fact $31,760.50. And what you can basically do is let Bob and these nice people verify that, go over the documents either tonight or in the morning, and get these folks to flat so they can go ahead and finish their closing. And if Bob tells them that he ain't satisfied, then they don't get their bond. And then he's got to go back to the $150,000 number. But it looks to me like they're pretty close on documentation, then, Bob.
Well, that's what I said. I already said it. I know the asphalt's there. I drove by it.
All you need to do tonight is to approve it subject to your being satisfied that these numbers are correct, right? Is that right? Am I wrong?
To what numbers?
Correct.
Okay, but you got a copy of this? So what?
This only tells me that the asphalt's been put down. I know that.
Okay, so what numbers are you looking at to be correct?
The other bond estimate tells you that everything else has been done, and all it lists is the things that haven't been done yet.
Well, this isn't the same. 9 days ago, things like curbing repair and replace, the unit price was $25 a linear foot. Now all of a sudden it's $20 a week later. There's changes to this document in unit cost. That concerns me a little bit. Why would the unit cost change in a week?
Well, I'll have to talk to the engineer about that.
Paving repairs unit cost changed. Storm drainage, punch list items, unit cost changed. Why wouldn't that all be the same unless it's been done and that's what we need to verify? But why would the unit cost? I don't think it went down last week.
Some of these things might have been done since then, like the testing, storm drainage, water system punches, testing and permit to operate.
So get the figures down.
So we're testing and permit to operate.
25 figures.
Mr. Mayor, we could spend, I guess, all night with questions. I would suggest that the council consider a vote this evening approving the bond in the amount of 125% of whatever number the administrator determines is left to be done. That would make sense. That would basically let Bob work with these gentlemen first thing in the morning, take a check, and get the documentation he needs to give them what they need. All they would then have to do is to make sure if they don't have enough, they can go back to the engineer and get the certification and bring it back.
62.
That should fix their problem.
Mistake.
0.5.
Two inches.
Their problem is, we're trying to get the council meetings to
was supposed to be.
Well, the other alternative would be to defer it until all the paperwork is correct and ready to turn into the town. That would be another alternative.
39.
I don't feel comfortable putting
13 cents, yeah.
Bob under pressure, and us under pressure to look at something tonight and try to read this and figure it out when it could have been here earlier.
Well, that's what I'm saying, it wouldn't make us do it tonight. It would basically simply place the ultimate decision back on Bob whenever he gets the documentation.
If any of these figures turn out to be incorrect, then we're back to starting over next 2 weeks from now anyway.
The problem is though, if you wait till 2 weeks from now, you got to close it till Friday, you just can't have that.
That's like, I look like right, 35, 730. 31.
But I want to make sure that Bob is clear on what he's going to be approving though. So there's no ambiguity in this. I don't have a problem giving him authority to go forward, but I just want to make sure he's clear. And that you guys are clear what he's going to be saying yes or no to. Is that understandable, Mr. Moore? Morris? Okay.
3,000. Oh.
What's today's date?
Today's the 4th.
What are you? Now we can go into executive session if we need to, if you want to discuss something with us privately.
Like another big, Bob, you were asking, this difference is the grass. And said at first, our first bond, or our first estimated bond didn't include any, or hardly any grass if we hadn't done it yet. We've since completed that along with asphalt.
You said you had closing on Friday coming up?
Yes, sir. We sold lots to builders, and we don't have a house to sell up there, and we're in the selling season, and they're anxious to get their models going and some specs. They even have a few contracts sold. I think the only thing left to do over the next 6 weeks is to get the permits to operate the water and the sewer. This is exactly how we did phase 2. Otherwise, we have to wait 3 months for all the legal paperwork to be done by the city of Columbia, VHAC, and all that. And it's just, it moves the process along, so we can build houses and have them ready by the time we have all those. Otherwise,
It's 39.
that's what all this extra money's for.
39.
There's no more hard labor or hardscape to put in, or ponds are in, sewers in, water's in. We just need to start building. And this is just for if we mess up the road while we're doing this, or if we break a curb, we've got money to repair.
Making a bond in that?
Well, it's like that thing in here, see, they're not coming up. This one was $25, $42.50, now it's 20, so it's only $35. I mean, it's not that the work is the same. How can you change the unit prices? That even lower. It's still, so you change this from this one.
What are you saying?
I mean, that's my good side. I mean, they change the unit prices, so of course all the figures are stupid.
Well,
that's why I need somebody to tell me,
and out there, maybe watch out, maybe 25. Okay. These unit prices on these quantities.
It goes up.
Okay. Is that what we're kind of end up there?
Taking the difference
To get the,
you're talking about and adding 125% to it.
see what I'm saying here, they haven't done any improvement here, but they said that it would cost $42.50 the first report, and now it says $3,400 for the same amount.
50 there. And
That's the best way to do
And then down here is $266, this one $79.95,
whole list of
at $30 per unit price per square yard.
is that pay and repair, or what is it?
That'll be
This is the pay and
good
repair.
buildings, Peachtree.
So I'm just going by the first figure, all of a sudden, now all of a sudden, all the figures are going
Why don't we
down.
take that and just subtract that off of it,
Yeah, just take off,
and then do 120, what's that?
the figure's going to be.
Do we need to go in executive session? No. Yes.
You just get these three numbers right here. So,
Yeah, or we just take that and subtract that. Take that 125 and take the paving off and leave everything else the same. What would that be?
that's good.
Let's do that in fall.
I'm trying to figure out the solution.
What would that be?
Yeah, and then that would probably be,
125,
that would be more
775
accurate.
minus the 85, 280.
That would be a better figure.
And then 125 times that.
That's the biggest burden they got.
Subtract 85, 280.
We did grass and change. Because of those accounts changing the dates of his first inspection, his last inspection, which was yesterday.
85, 280.
Yeah.
40,000.
And then 125 of that.
Times
And we want to keep
0.125.
not yet, subtract another 5550. That's for the grass here. 550. Oh, okay, equals.
Can't be.
Get a zero in there.
Problems.
There you go. Equals.
I just don't want to be.
That's the figure we want times 0.125.
Phase 3, what do you do that?
That's the figure that would be more comfortable right there. So that way we keep the unit costs where they are.
This one, you ain't gonna get the other one. Right?
That's right, I agree.
43,681.25.
That would be more comfortable until they can.
43, what was it?
43,681.25. And that's based on their figure. I'm not changing anything. We just.
So that's basically keeping all these units the same, other than that.
That's keeping the unit prices the same as they had, and we took the grassing off because they said that they did. That's fine.
Okay.
So that's subtract
So you basically subtracted these
5550, and we
payments.
took away all of this
Oh, okay.
and left everything else the same. And this is with the 125% already in it.
Okay. Here's what we can do, is we took your original thing dated May 20th, and we lowered the grassing cost to 50, we took 55,
We lowered it to 3,700.
lowered it to 3,700 from 9,250, and we took the paving off altogether, the 85,280, subtracted that from the 125, and then multiplied it times the 125% and came up with the amount of $43,681.25.
Right.
And if y'all will do that, then we can make a motion for that, and then you'll have tomorrow to get whatever you need to be satisfied
To accept that one.
to accept that when the paving's done and the
If
grass.
they're bringing me the engineer letter from Richmond County, that's fine. If they were out there doing the inspection, that'll be fine.
That's what you had, GS2?
You said you were going to get, you had the engineer letter that they were the ones out there inspecting from Richmond County while you were doing the work. That's what you told me on the phone that their engineer would...
They're the third-party person out there as the contractors are bringing it and laying down the road and testing each thing, so that when Richland County goes to review and take over, they have all the data knowing that the road was built from its sub-base to the finished grade.
Okay.
All the way.
Well,
I mean, there's no way for a different engineer to go out there without cutting up the road to measure everything.
then,
Taking tests, and this is what this company does. And they didn't do it for us. They have to do it with the contractor that's doing the work and for the county, so that the contractor, if the county fails something, then the contractor's will be responsible for it, and then he can fall back on this engineering company, which supplied the report. It's, you all try to do it right the first time.
So,
all we need would be this check, and then you'd be bonded. The
$43,681.25.
That's based on your unit prices.
Say again, please, how much?
$43,681.25.
We already have a lot of checks, we'll have to go in and have one.
So we can take a motion to, well, we need a motion.
Is that that's 125% of whatever you
Yeah.
figured out?
So we'll need a motion for approval of the, and then we'll have to amend it. So approval of the 157, and then we'll amend it to the,
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Can y'all live with that?
Yes.
Can y'all live with that?
Okay. Get us moving in the right direction.
I'll make a motion that we approve the bond for $157,218.75.
and is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? None? So
In light of all of the discussions and the documentation that has been presented to us, and we're taking it on face value, I would actually make a motion to amend that $157,218.75 to $43,681.25.
and is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
And that would be conditioned upon them producing to Mr. Brown.
Well, that wouldn't require any conditions.
That wouldn't require any
That's
conditions,
just the
okay?
grassing and the asphalt, and everything else still needs to be done based
Okay.
on their unit prices, so that would be good.
That would be good, okay?
So Mr. Brown doesn't need to make any judgments, he's just gonna get a check from them for 46, whatever.
And y'all can drop that by the town in the morning.
And you said you had one, and you could bring another one for the difference or whatever?
Yeah,
or-
we got one, we just get another one. So you need, I gave you the documentation on the road, but I know you don't have time to read it all over. If you can let me know tomorrow if there's something that's not, I read it over, I think it has more than what you need for what they require. And then the grassing, do you need me to bring something from the company? And
Yeah, I think he's fine with,
I'll drive around out there again tomorrow, I'm fine with that. Like I said, I know the asphalt got put down.
And with the rain, we just have to see the grass coming up, so it's
That'll be fine.
So that, a check for $43,681.25, the town hall will get you your bond.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
any discussion, any more questions? All in favor then of approving the bond in the amended amount of $43,681.25? If you have a,
No,
Oh,
raise my
okay.
hand for approval.
and all in favor?
Gotcha.
Next item is the approval to change the town sanitation pickup to 1 day a week. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
I think it would be very beneficial to the town, number one. You won't hear the garbage trucks every day of the week at some point in town. Number two, I think they'll come into town, get their work done, and be gone. There won't be another garbage truck coming through the next day, and I think our roads may be better for it.
What about the, not the garbage, but the
Recycling,
It's still gonna be every other week.
that'll still be every other week?
Just
every other week, but it'll just be on Wednesday.
Oh, the same day? Okay. And yard trash?
Wednesday.
Household
If
garbage.
they can do it, this makes a lot more sense to me.
It sure does.
And as far as advertising, getting word out, we will do the
They're doing
listserv or
advertise-
whatever? No,
Well, we
do
will
that.
too, yeah, we'll do listserv, put it on our website, Channel 2. They were gonna put magnets out on the go karts,
That's great.
something that'll stick on there, because last time they put paper out there and it
Well,
flew all
magnets
over
don't
the
stick to
neighborhood.
plastic. You need-
No, they put out a magnet when they did them first, and I have it sticking on a file in my
Oh,
office.
you're talking about when they'll people can put in the house?
Yeah.
Refrigerator? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it lets you know when the recycling
That's
needs to
gonna
go
be-
out.
that's
Yeah, if you have any more of those,
Well, they'll have to have a new one now that's on
well, you
Wednesday.
have some more made, because we never know. We just put it out every Tuesday. And they pick it up when they're ready.
I
And I
suspect
guess,
there'll be some growing pains with this,
We can get Irmo used to put it in there too, that And it's on July 22nd or 29th, I think.
Correct,
yeah.
either starting the week of the 22nd or the 29th of July. One of those two.
And they'll let us know before then.
Yes, they want to wait till well after the 4th of July weekend to get started.
Any more discussion? All in favor of the change to 1 day a week, do so with show of hands. Next item is the approval to purchase a John Deere Gator from Palmetto Lawn and Leisure in the amount of $8,537.09. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
I want to see what smile.
Found a little
Is
money.
this replacing one, or just an additional one?
Additional one.
And this would come out of this year's budget, or we're doing it for next year? Come out of now?
Come out
And
right
we got
now.
money now?
We do.
Okay. Any questions?
No, but we're happy to do this. Those men work hard. I see them every day.
All in favor then of approval of the John Deere Gator in the amount of $8,537.09, do so with show of hand. And next item is presentation by citizens. This is the time where anyone who wants to address anything with the council can do so at this time. All we ask is you come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Anyone who would like to address the Irmo Town Council?
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that will.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
James Mack, 7483 Eastview Drive, Irmo. Typically, I don't complain. Complaining really doesn't get you anywhere, so I gotta complain. I guess about 2 weeks ago, I guess there's some contractors that are working on Eastview Drive, just cleaning off the debris. They were out until 4:15 a.m. in the morning.
They were out till then or out at then?
Out until then, from the time that afternoon until 4:15 a.m. in the morning.
Now, you understand that wasn't our contractor for the
Well,
project.
the thing about it is, the same noise that I hear that wakes me up in the morning, and I'm not being ugly, the same noise that I hear that wakes me up in the morning, that's the same noise I heard that night, or in the morning. And got a couple other folks, they couldn't make it tonight. They live along the fence. One of the guys, he said he was out there flashing his porch lights on and off, so like, look, it's time to stop. It's time to stop. Now,
They worked until then?
yes, ma'am. When I asked them that
They were,
morning,
did you know what they were doing? They were fixing the water line and then they were, okay.
Let me get to that. When I asked them about it, they said it wasn't us. Okay, and that's the same noise I hear again. It wakes me up every morning. They start around 7. Sometimes they start sooner. And I can understand what they're trying to do. And like I told Councilman Walker Saturday, I know it's hot out there. And I can see what they're trying to finish. They got a timeline and so forth. And they're trying to get out of that heat for health reasons. But my health is just as important as theirs. I almost lost my job the next morning because I fell asleep. And again, the guy said it wasn't us. I was like, okay, Time Warner was out. Somebody busted their cable. So I couldn't even get to my driveway until 8 o'clock that night. I left home that morning, they were out there. I called home and said, there's no need to come home, you can't get in. I don't know who busted the water line. Water line was busted. And the thing about it is, I guess what really concerns me is that there is no communication. Nobody said anything. A friend of mine, their water's still late. And again, I understand what y'all trying to do, but it seems like there would be a little bit of communication. Just a little bit. I know I talked to Mr. Wood one time and I explained to him my mom's dilemma. But there are also other folks that can't get here. They're complaining as well. On Church Street, Miss Bowman. They had to rush her to the emergency room a couple days ago. Those trucks ringing up every morning.
Is she all right?
She's all right.
Okay.
She's all right. Tearing up the road. Mr. Hill, he just came back from woman home, waking him up in the morning. Mr. and Mrs. Hall, waking them up in the morning. Mrs. Agnes Bell, waking her up in the morning. And again, I understand what they're trying to do, but at least have some common courtesy for the senior citizens.
Yeah.
Other day, trash can, and I heard that talking about trash cans. When those guys pick up the trash, they dump it. They just throw the trash can back on the ground. Trash can is busted, so who would I need to see if I get another trash can?
Do we have some of those here?
Do we have any
in town?
extra ones? Well, not anymore, so we have to call.
We have to call advance.
Advance.
They bust the handle when they picked up trash, I think yesterday. They just left it basically in the road. I don't know, I need to talk to the captain. There was an accident, I guess about, and this deal with the church, about 2 or 3 months ago.
2 months ago, I talked to Ms. Tucker today.
I got the report.
Oh, you
The
did?
thing about it is nobody ever contacted us, and somebody said they did. The sign has been down since then.
Okay, you got a copy of the report?
Yeah, I got a copy of the report.
All right, then I'll be for it.
But like I said,
Find the insurance company.
like I said, I understand what y'all trying to do, but at least have a little compassion and common courtesy for some of the senior citizens. Thank you.
Thank you.
What happened? What accident?
Accident.
Somebody run off Blackbird Boulevard and went into the church property and ran over the Macedonia sign, and I think they, if I remember correctly, they hit the telephone pole too, or the water fire hydrant. Yeah, fire hydrant.
The guy had a seizure. He was out of, I think, out of Illinois. He had a seizure and lost control of the vehicle. So,
Does insurance pay for that?
well, see, the thing about it is nobody's ever given us a copy of the report. When we requested one, somebody said, well, we already given somebody one, but nobody said it was given to them.
Oh, that is what it gives you. I know Ms. Tucker called me this morning.
Yeah, and the lady said, when I came up here this afternoon,
Okay.
the lady said, you're on vacation.
You enjoying this time off, Chief?
Yeah, I'll wear this whenever I go out.
I'm just going by what I was told. Because I was going to call Ms. Tucker, and I said, there's no need to go up there. I got a copy of the report. And they said, well, she won't be able to reach it.
That's his beach outfit.
I want to see you ski in those boots.
You don't play in a band, do you, or anything like that?
Village people got
And I guess we can get a trash can for them. Do we keep some here in case people like this happen, or
We
do we
used to
just
keep
tell
a
them to
couple,
call
or not anymore.
advance?
They're all gone.
Okay.
So we either have to get some more, or they just have to call advance.
Outside trash can, we can call that,
They'll bring one out.
No, you gotta call us, and they have.
We've got to send an email to them to get
Oh, okay. So we'll get an email and get one sent
We
to
just
you.
need
We
it.
can request some more, Kevin.
Send
This
it.
address was 743 Eastview,
We'll get it in tomorrow. Okay.
740.
What's your address, Mr. Mack?
7483,
7483.
where my mud and dirt is, that they getting up.
Yeah. Now, Time Warner working out there all night. I mean, they don't even inform us, just so you know.
Right.
I mean, they go out there and then they were fixing a cable and then they busted a water line while they're there. And he's right. They stayed there all night working on it. 'Cause
Now, is
people
that City of Columbia Water, working on the water?
The
or is
City
it-
of Columbia Water, and then it was Time Warner Cable. But
Mhm.
they
Both
don't
of
come
them.
to us and say, gee, guys, want you to know that we're out here.
They just go.
They just go.
It may not be immediately,
At
we
least-
don't know how much, if they have.
If you try
can ask
to,
the
they
chief.
won't come the
The
next time.
problem is the handle, by them throwing it on.
You have,
Because most of our contractors, they don't start before 7, 8 o'clock, really.
And I think when we charge them that business license, whatever you call that thing, franchise fee, that gives them the right to get on that right away and do what they gotta do, maintain.
are we done with most of the noisy stuff now? Or is it still some more left?
I'll know tomorrow. I got a meeting at 10 o'clock. All of us out there at the park. Yes.
Would you email me and let me know where we are?
I mean, the track codes and things like that, they're done with.
Well, that's during the day I'm talking about. But things
But as far as anything starting at 7, if we told them they couldn't start till 8, is that going to...
If council wants me to tell them they can't start till 8, we will.
We'll find out if that's going to be a big...
Let's find out what they're doing. Let's find out if they are.
I mean, it may be that they've done all the big stuff and now everything else is quiet and they can start at 7. I don't know. Maybe we can kind of...
I mean, they'll have a concrete truck out there Thursday morning. That'll be loud.
Yes.
Pouring concrete for the bathrooms.
7 o'clock is not unreasonable.
No, 7.
But 4 o'clock in the morning is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Okay, that's unreasonable. Yeah.
Somebody wanted their cable and it was out and they were raising hell.
Anyone else who would like to address Irmo Town Council on anything?
Okay, period.
Seeing none, executive session in need or anything? All in favor of adjournment, or is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? We're adjourned.